The entire area takes on a shade of blue in the hour before sunrise, a time of day referred to as the blue hour. While it's usually the most tranquil period in a 24-hour cycle, that's all about to change where I am as a westbound stack train approaches. Equipped with a fantastic sounding and extremely rare first generation K5HLB air horn, BNSF 7606 has the honor of breaking this morning's silence as she whistles for the Water Resource Road crossing at milepost 49.0. With the sun still well below the horizon, another westbound logistics train rolls past the crossing. In the distance, the dimmed headlight of an eastbound stack train passing the Lugo signals is visible. It's obvious we're about to see a train meet. Even though the crossing protection system is already activated due to the presence of the westbound, the crew of the eastbound train on track 1 are still required by law to sound their horn as a warning for the crossing. This creates an interesting effect, as the sound of their horn reflects off the ends of the containers of the train on track 2. The Cajon Sub dispatcher had to stop the westbound for a little bit at Lugo. However, not long after the back end of the eastbound clears is the logistics train cut loose again to continue its journey down the hill. As the sun rays gently blanket the mountains in the distance, yet another westbound is approaching. This time, a manifest that originated from Barstow Yard earlier in the morning. As dawn breaks, the back end of this short mixed freight passes the camera. At Lugo, the train is presented with a red signal. However, after a short wait, the dispatcher will give them a clear signal and allow them to continue on towards the summit and eventually down Cajon Pass. As the morning sun shines upon my location, a Union Pacific train rounds the corner with a rather respectable lash-up that includes a freshly painted SD40N. As the head end of the Union Pacific train reaches Lugo, we can see an eastbound BNSF stack train approaching, and it looks like he has some goodies in the consist. As the eastbound got closer, it turns out that I was right, and there were indeed a couple of goodies in the consist in the form of a pair of Norfolk Southern locomotives in the second and third slots. Annoyingly, just as the good locomotives come into frame, some foamer got in my shot. The nerve of some people. After that eastbound had passed, I had decided to go get breakfast at this place, the Aviator Cafe, home to the best chorizo and eggs in the world, as well as a good view of passing trains on the Cajon Sub. In this case, we see another westbound headed towards Cajon Pass. After breakfast, I decided to go back to where I was, which turned out to be a rather good idea. The endless parade of westbounds continued with a curveball thrown in, this time in the form of an EMD SD70 Mac. Seeing big BNSF EMD locomotives are rather quite rare this far southwest. Seeing an SD70 Mac in BN Executive paint, even more so. It's probably one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. At long last, we finally see another eastbound snaking its way through Lugo. This train is running in a configuration called 2x2. This means that there's 2 locomotives on the front and 2 remotely controlled distributed power units on the back. Next, we see a couple more westbound stack trains charge through town. Once the two westbounds were through, an eastbound comes into the circuit. A Union Pacific manifest out of West Colton is next to grace the camera. This train will most likely stay on the BNSF tracks until it reaches Daggett, just east of Barstow, where it will take the junction and continue on home tracks to points east. SD70 ACE number 8651 takes up the rear of the manifest as it disappears around the corner. As it did, I decided it was time to head off after a fantastic bit of railfanning. Of course, right after you leave is when something good comes by. Fortunately in my case, as I was driving away, I was in a position to film it, and this is what I saw. I would say that seeing a lash-up that includes a couple of blue bonnet GP60s is a great way to end the day of rail fanning. For now, I'm Train Track Trav. I'll see you trackside. Thanks for watching.